Hey, greetings everybody, and welcome to our 2025 Pops Band Concert. We're so excited to have you here this evening celebrating the arts, live music, and of course these outstanding musicians on stage and about to go on stage in just a little bit. This concert is absolutely one of my favorites, and that's saying a lot if you were at that last band concert. This is a chance for us to kind of cut loose a little bit and play some fun, popular music, and these kids have been having an absolute wonderful time across the board. This band right here is our junior band. They meet every other day, so about 2 to 3 times a week, and they sound wonderful. The growth that they have had from the beginning of the school year to right now is just outstanding. So we have a great concert for you. Our next piece that we're going to be playing, keeping the energy going, is a piece by Bruno Mars titled "That's What I Like." We hope you enjoy. All right, so the select music, it's a very fun process of finding music that the students are going to really enjoy, that they resonate with. The first piece, we did The Avengers, and it's a very popular movie series right now. And then we did a little bit of Bruno Mars, who's been on the radio since forever. And this last one, this one might be a little bit for me, although the students really liked it as well. This one is called Let It Rock, and it came out somewhere in like 2007-ish. And I just remember it being all over the radio airwaves everywhere. And it's really kind of cool being able to show music from my generation to these students. I feel like I'm older than I look, so who knows. Anyway, so we really hope you enjoy this last number. And I think they might have a couple of dance moves that they might be doing. So make sure you watch, especially the clarinet section. We hope you enjoy. then we'll have a brief transition as we welcome Cadet Band on stage. All right, so this ensemble right here is our cadet band made of students in 8th grade and 9th grade, also meeting every other day for rehearsing 2 to 3 times a week. We have a really interesting selection of music. The titles didn't work out the way that it wasn't planned by the titles, it just kind of happened. So that first number, as you guys know, was Firework by Katy Perry. You might have heard that she was on the news. She went to space for like a couple of minutes and came back to Earth, and it was a big thing. And well, we wanted to do a little bit of that fireworks, so we were very blessed that we were able to get some lights above us. But then we have an interesting theme where it goes next, because now we have the skyfall, and then after that we're ending with timber. So none of those are related, but it was kind of like this huge spectacle that just seemed to work right now. So this next number, as I just mentioned, is a piece from a James Bond movie, the James Bond movie being Skyfall, and the title song, sung by Adele, Skyfall. We hope you enjoy. Okay, so I gave away the secret that the last song is Timber, and it's also in your program. So, hey, these kids are really great. Have I said that yet? Incredible. We have just been having an absolute blast on this last concert cycle, which is really fun. If you think about where we've been throughout the whole school year, where we started, our first concert was in December, so we had like 3-4 months to learn all the music, and then we had our spring concert, and that brought it down to about 2.5 months, and then we have our Pops concert, and that's about a month and a half. And they really stepped up. All the students have really stepped up their game, and that shows how much appreciation there is for the arts here at Lake City. And it's not just within the band program, it's also within the choir program. It's also in our arts class as well, as I have a whole lot of artists in this group, and they talk about all the fun they're having with Mr. Atkinson and all their classes. So this is a really talented group of students, and I'm just so blessed and honored to be able to work with them each and every day. So without further ado, we hope you enjoy Timber. And we'll have a brief transition as we welcome our wind ensemble on stage. I'm not as cool as I like to think I am, but I'll take it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, your Lake City Wind Ensemble. All right, so that first number was The Incredibles from the Pixar movie series, The Incredibles. And it kind of seemed to be the perfect piece to have this outstanding ensemble start because that was incredible. Hey, let's give these students another round of applause. All right, so as we continue through this program, we have a lot of music, a lot of fun music from our wind ensemble, and it has just been an incredible ride, as I mentioned earlier, as we go from our December concert to our spring concert to our Pops concert. And holy cow, when I think back to our last concert with one of the coolest musicians in the world, Derek Brown, it was kind of like, what in the world, how in the world are we going to be able to top that? And then I just sat back and remembered, oh yeah, these guys already topped it. This band has just been an absolute fun ensemble to be with, to rehearse, and so many good things have come through this school year just through their leadership alone. As we go into this next number, we're going to be featuring a couple of our students in this next song, Everything by Michael Bublé. And we're going to introduce our students to the stage here. We're going to start with our trumpet. Owen Cleese is our trumpet player. Owen, you come on down, grab your music stand, and head on over. Owen has been kind of our Swiss Army knife with the ensemble, going from, boy, we had trumpet, and we had percussion, and he did euphonium as well, and he just seems to be everywhere where the band program goes. So kudos to Owen. And then next we're going to bring in, on the trombone, we're going to bring down Nils Olsen, who also does it all. Received at solo and ensemble. I gotta ham this one up a little bit. So our students get to participate in something that's called Solo and Ensemble, and that happened April 11th, something like that. And in each site in the band, there was 5 sites, and in each of those sites, there's about 25 different performances that happen. And out of those 25 sites, only one is chosen by the judge of who had the best performance of the evening, and that was Nils Olsen. So can we give Nils a big round of applause? And for those who are at the jazz concert, you already know Nils' grandma is my favorite grandma beyond my own grandma's. And then the last person we're going to invite to stage is going to be Jane Schmitz on clarinet. Jane, come on over. Jane serves as our band president. There she is, our band president, and she has been doing everything across the board. Between the 3 of them, I at least one of them is always in the band room all the time, just doing things, and this is just a really cool opportunity so we can feature these students on our piece called Everything. And I'm going to grab one microphone stand, and then we'll be ready to start. I also got another mic right here. Oh, holy cow, wherever I go, there's a mic. This is great. When I was younger, on my report cards, the teachers would write down, this guy talks too much. And then I got older, and now I got microphones. Oh, hang on, I actually don't need this microphone. I'm gonna put this one back. Okay, so what an incredible small ensemble we had right there as that big feature. Can we give those three students a warm round of applause? All right, we're going to diversify our repertoire here really fast. A lot of the things we've been playing have been from the radio or a standard Western movie or a cartoon show. Like, well, I guess is the Incredibles a cartoon? Yeah, I guess it would be. We're going to move to a different style. This next series that we're going to play is from the hit, the #1 world famous hit anime that's right now is called Demon Slayer. It's been all across the airwaves. If anyone here is following TikTok, those out in the audience, maybe I should be looking over here. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I see the head nods. This is going to be in 2 parts, and I know I said I wasn't going to arrange anything, but it was just too cool not to do it. So this is maybe a little bit more for me, but as we play through this piece, you're really going to enjoy Demon Slayer. So we hope you enjoy. Gosh, I'm not supposed to start crying before I get to the microphone, but I'm already choking up. This is the part of every school year that I absolutely love, but it's also very bittersweet. Because at this time, we're going to recognize our seniors. Now, before we recognize our seniors, I have some beautiful words I'd like to share about how outstanding this crew has been. Every time I start a school year, I never really know what it's going to be because our last crew of seniors have graduated and they have taken all the knowledge and expertise that they've developed their senior year, and then they have carried on. Actually, I believe there are a number of alumni from the past couple of years in the audience. Alumni, thank you guys so much for coming back and supporting. And this crew right here has done magical things. When we had our first rehearsal, it was like the summer break didn't even happen. Or maybe it did happen and all they did was just sit in their rooms and practice their instruments nonstop, because I was blown away, like, wow, this is really awesome. And then, but they're still in the back of my mind being like, okay, where's this gonna go? What the school year is going to be like? Then we had our first pep band, and of course, all of our students are really involved in a lot of things. At the beginning of the school year, I asked any student who is in a sport, or if they're in an activity, or if they're working, any of that. And by the end of it, I introduced every single one, all those different activities that they're in. Every single student was standing up. And of course, the one thing that united us, Kale? Music. The one thing that united us was music. So we weren't musicians first. We were people first, and we're doing all these activities, and this tied us together. We were the liaisons from this organization to everything else. Whatever sport, if it was a fall sport, a spring sport, winter sport, or any activity, organizations that go on the entire school year. And so I'm thinking, okay, what's this first pep band going to look like and where it's going to go? And as we get to the first pep band, all of a sudden I see the students start rolling on in. And I see a senior after a senior after a senior. I'm like, oh man, that's the leadership. And then following behind them through their guidance, inviting in our 11th grade and 10th graders as doing just as much as our seniors. But our seniors brought a level of leadership that was incredible. And it was super cool. And so we had a great first few pep bands, and it just kept getting better, and it kept getting better. And then we had our winter concert. You guys were there for that one. And out of the comments I got, someone said, holy cow, they thought the band was going to blow the roof off. And then we just kept going from there. Then we tracked to our jazz ensemble. The jazz ensemble got accepted to perform at the Minnesota School Board Association performance in January 11th. Hey, if you're in jazz band on stage, go ahead and stand up, jazz band people. We have a round of applause for all of our jazz band students. All of our jazz band students. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Not many schools have the ability to say that their band, their jazz band, performed at the Minnesota School Board Association conference. That is almost a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I really hope that we get to do a little bit more to our jazz students sitting over here, and give them those opportunities so we can keep doing these things. And as we kept going, we got to our spring music, and then we played some really intense music, of course hosting Derek Brown as well. And what an outstanding opportunity that was. And to our soloists, we had a chance to be here soloing with Derek, and of course our saxophonists, so that we had our cool saxophone improv session. And then the piece Arabesque. Now I didn't want to say at the last concert, but I wanted to share it now. Our last piece at the last concert we did, it was Arabesque. That was a Category 1 piece of music. And I remember it being like, I don't know, it was late January. We had the music for like a month, and I'm just sitting at home, and I'm like, oh my God, is this music too hard? This is really hard music. Are we gonna make this? Is this gonna happen? And then I talked to the band, and they're just like, come on, dude, we got this. And then I was like, yes, yeah, they do, and I believed in them. And we did outstanding at our last contest, which happened after a concert, a couple of days after a concert. We performed at large group contests, and this band earned 3 superiors, and that was an outstanding performance. So can we give these guys a round of applause for that superior? And those things don't happen without leadership across the board. And I really saw it with our seniors this year. And then this week happened, and then every night I go home and I'm like, oh man, it's only a couple more days until I get to direct this wind ensemble one more time before they go off to college, and then our 11th graders go to 12th grade, our 10th graders go to 11th, and our 9th graders in Cadet come up to senior band, and then we start the process anew. And as this week progressed, I had a chance to talk to a very intelligent woman who has been a really, really strong leader here at our school, and she's at everything. She's so great. But as she talked about her own students going off to college and studying in college, she made this comment saying, it's okay to feel 2 things at once. You can feel excited, of which I am. These students are just phenomenal, and I can't wait until they get into the community of Lake City and beyond, and they can take this path forward and make sure that we are living in a really collective society, because that's what we want. But I'm also very sad. Because if we go back a few years, these seniors ran last 7th graders in my original role here at Lake City. And I never got to have a full school year with them because COVID cut things short. And I remember it being late March, and the world stopped. And then the last time I saw these guys in person felt like an eternity because I could see them on the computer screen. I mean, most of them didn't have their cameras on anyway, so the Zoom stuff, so I didn't really see them. I just saw their name. And it's like, okay, are you even awake right now? I'm not too sure. But they would do like the thumbs up and however Zoom worked back then, or still does now. And then my job changed a little bit, and I went to doing the high school, and these guys moved up to 8th grade, and I didn't really get a chance to see them as much as I wanted to. And then they did 9th grade as well. And then it was kind of a reunion when they entered 10th grade. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is so great. It's like talking to somebody I haven't seen in forever, even though I had a chance to see them as they went through. And then now, we get to the moment where I have to say goodbye one more time. And that's really tough to do. The piece that we're going to play, I'm going to introduce our seniors first, but the piece we're going to be playing is a piece from the musical Wicked. And as you guys know, it's just out in the theaters this recent year. And the music is for good. And the words are, and I won't sing them, or maybe I'll try. I'm not a vocalist. Mrs. Rognes is the expert. Please don't judge me. Please don't fail me in class. I know I don't practice my voice too much. But as the words are, I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn. And we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them. And if we help them in return, well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know that who I am today is because of you. And I have learned a lot as a teacher, as a musician, as a person from these students. And I try to be the best person that I can for them because they are incredible and they deserve to have an incredible band teacher. And I don't know if I've ever done that, but I've tried and I've really grown. And if it wasn't for these students, I don't think that would have happened. And parents, that is a testament to you of being outstanding parents and raising students to be at this caliber. I mean, how often does a teacher get up on stage and say, yeah, these are the students right here. So parents, thank you so much. I think we need to have a round of applause, students, to your parents in the audience for everything that they have done for you. Thank you, parents. So with that, there are many things I'd like to keep saying, but I think I'm going to keep them in my heart for right now. As we introduce our seniors, just please stand. And for our seniors, they are wearing, the shirt that they are wearing is what they are going to be doing post-high school. So it might be university, it might be military, it might be workforce, it might be helping around at the house. So we're going to introduce our seniors, we're going to recognize them. Please feel free to applaud after each senior. We're going to start towards the back row and go forward, and if you're already standing, put a hand in the air. All right, on bass guitar, let's give it up for Cale Nibby. And then Cale just keeps standing as everyone else keeps standing up too. Perfect, got it, you good. All right, going to trombone, Vinnie Myers. Nils Olson. In our trumpet section, we have Adal Kyer. We have Willa Field. And completing our trumpet trio, we have Owen Cleese. On the French horn, and also trumpet, Lucy Stewart. Yeah, there it is. All right, in the saxophone section, we'll start with our tenor saxophone. We have Alec Malcolmary. To our alto saxophone section, we have Eric Anderson. And Allison Dykes. In our clarinet section, we have Cora Reckman. Hannah Weinrich. And our band president, Jane Schmitz. And in our flute section, drum major, Sophia Huber. You'll see her on the streets sporting our drum major uniform, and she'll do some really cool salutes as we go along. So please follow our marching band program. It's outstanding. Oh my gosh. My thumb was on the bass clarinet section. Oh no, that's how I was holding the paper. All right, and then we have one more. The most incredible bass clarinetist on this side of the Mississippi River, Isabel Welsh. For real though, I was holding my hand right here and it just covered it up. I'm so sorry about that, my apologies. So for our tradition that we like to do with our seniors, celebrating our seniors and everything that they have done, we have a slideshow that we will drop on down, it's a tradition of ours, where we'll have students of a baby or toddler photo, and then that will go to their senior photo. And so now Luke and I are gonna coordinate the cue. Luke, drop the screen. There's a little magic I have to work with the screen over here, so I'm going to disappear for a second. But I'll still have the microphone, so. Did I hit anybody in the head with that? Oh, perfect. That was pretty good. Actually, there's one more person I will quickly want to recognize. Luke Sommerfeld up in our sound booth. He has been doing all the lights and all the everything. Luke, thank you so much. Thank you, Luke. Really appreciate you. Eric's just really tall. There he is, right there. Congratulations, seniors, on an outstanding performance. All right, something might happen now.
Okay, as most of you know, usually the seniors get Stashek a little gift. So we've put together a few things for him. Our little sign this year says, "Because I knew you, I have been changed for good." Thanks to my parents for making this, actually. Keely and Sean Roach. Thanks, guys. But anyways, thank you so much, Mr. Stashek. I'll hand it off to Owen.
Hey, Stasha. It's impossible to thank you for all that you've done for us, all that you've done for senior band, and all that you've done for the music program as a whole. You've given us countless opportunities in our band careers to experience band, not just in the classroom, but out in the world as well. The amount of work that you do often goes unnoticed by people. To the people in the audience who do not know, Stashek is a very busy man. He is the band director for, I don't know if you're ready for this, 3 wind ensembles here at Lincoln, junior, cadet, and senior band. He conducts 2 jazz bands in the morning, being Jazz Lab and Jazz Studio. He is the head director for the summer marching band here in Lake City. He helped the theater come to life by conducting pit orchestra for the all-school musicals. He conducts the pep band, oftentimes hopping in on an instrument himself. Believe it or not, Stashek does have a life outside the band room, which he dedicates his little free time to performing in, you guessed it, another band, being his loudmouth brass band. Stashek wakes up early, goes to bed late, and works his tail off all day, all for the love of music, and all for the program that he has helped build. We as the class of 2025, thank you. We thank you for teaching us how to skillfully play our instruments at the highest level, a skill that will last us a lifetime. Thank you for teaching us how to appreciate music and help us recognize how powerful it is and how much of an impact it has on all of us. Thank you for your mentorship. Each and every one of us knows that we can always come to you for anything and everything, and you'll always help us with a smile on your face. I'm supposed to keep this short, so I'll finish it off with this. Last week, me and Stashek had a conversation about what we thought made this historic year in the band program so special. Yes, we might be a very talented group, but talent can only go so far. We came to the conclusion that our senior class wasn't just a grade level, rather we were a family. We put aside our differences as people and became one group of people who were always up to the challenge that our music gave us, working together to create greatness. But the most important part of this family is you, Stashek. You helped start this family all the way back in 9th grade, or in 7th grade, and now 6 years later, we're saying goodbye. But a family like ours can never say goodbye. We might not see each other every day, but the memories we have made and the relationships that we've had will always live in our hearts. Thank you, Mr. Stashek. You truly have helped us change for good.
Like I said, these seniors are absolutely incredible. The band program would not be what it is today without them. So even though maybe that was a gift for me, can we say one more big round of applause to our seniors for everything they've done? Well, now I'm tearing up myself as well. Well, I've been tearing up the whole time. I have a couple of more big thank yous to say before we play our last number. The first one I'd like to start by saying is a big thank you to our Lake City administration across the board. They have been absolutely heroic for our music department this year. Any time that there's been something where we've needed support, they have always been there on the front line saying, how can we help out? And without that support with the school administration, we would not be able to have things like this. I'd like to say a big thank you to Amy Rognes as well. She is just the absolute best and most wonderful person. I get to start each and every single day walking past her room, and I usually don't get all the way to the band room before I stop and say, how's it going today? So a huge round of applause for Amy Rognes as she is just incredible. And a really big thank you to our music boosters. They have given so much to our music program on both choir and band this year that it has been truly a dream to be able to work here, and an absolute honor. Becky Lacqua, if she's in the audience, Becky, help me out, where are you at? Oh, she might be outside getting ready for chocolates. So buy some chocolates too. But can we have a big round of applause to all of our Music Booster members, including Becky. And lastly, this program would not be anywhere without the students. This is the last time we'll ask for applaud. But then after this last number, we're going to ask our seniors to stay back, and then we're going to take a whole bunch of photos, because that's what we do in 2025. If you didn't take photos, it didn't happen. So we got to take those photos, everybody. So seniors will stay back as we take our photos. One more round of applause for our seniors in this entire wind ensemble. Our last number is Medley by Journey, which is a very fitting end to this school year and their journey here at Lincoln, the best of Journey. We hope you enjoy. you all so much. We hope you have a wonderful evening, and then we'll take photos with our seniors down front. Luke, we can hit the lights.